We first met this great man during 2019 in the Baptiste short story, What You Left Behind, at Left Us Bar. This taught us some fun aspects of MAUGA, like how he enjoys playing the big dumb brute, but is in reality sly and dangerous. And as Bab said, he had a way of drawing strangers in, like they were old friends. MAUGA even says one of his in-game lines.
Who's ready to have some fun?
They even describe how ruthless MAUGA is in battle. And in a flashback we learn, MAUGA lets Bab leave Talon and even helps him escape. He even says before Bab leaves, "Call me whenever you're ready to come home." So at the bar, MAUGA gets Bab to help him with a mission to capture St. Clair. But during the mission that MAUGA forced Bab into, Bab escapes with St. Clair, which ends with MAUGA chasing Bab down to the docks. Here they have a short fight that Bab wins and gets away. So last we saw, MAUGA was here during the battle at the docks. This short story was just such a joy to introduce MAUGA. Now imagine, the year's 2019. You heard the new summer hero is a tank. And we just read about this new cool guy, MAUGA. And the origin story from summer of 2019 comes. And it's Sigma. And as we all know, thankfully nothing bad came out of Sigma. Right? Yeah, to say I was disappointed he didn't show up might be an understatement, but let's not worry about the past, since after a 4-year wait, he's finally here. And to me, this is all I could have wished he is. He's huge, with a great big personality to grab onto. But to help you understand why I like MAUGA so much, let's get into his lore first. MAUGA at an early age started working with the eco-terrorist group, the Deep Sea Raiders, which its Samoan branch was led by his dad. Going on adventures and missions with them, he learned charisma opens doors and destruction gets answers. During the battle we seen his origin story, he became critically wounded and had a Deep Sea Raider medic perform emergency heart surgery on him. They gave him a cybernetic heart to supplement his damaged organic one, which allowed MAUGA to return with newfound strength to win the battle. After that, he returned home to Samoa, where more surgeries and upgrades awaited him. And as his strength grew, so did his need for constant maintenance. MAUGA now lives on the edge of death, which has taught him to treat every day like it's his last. As the Deep Sea Raider activities were dying down, MAUGA was looking for new adventures. News of the Scourge of Numbani having been killed by his former pupil reached him. This news piqued his interest. Seeing a worthy opponent in this so-called Doomfist, he channeled Doomfist to a no-rules anything-goes fight. Doomfist, amused by the offer, agreed. The fight ended in a draw, with both men exhausted, unwilling to admit defeat. After being impressed by MAUGA, he offered him a place in Talon, which came with the promise of regular cybernetic upgrades and all the chaos his two hearts desire. In Talon, the whole world became MAUGA's playground. He also, with big quotation marks, befriended Baptiste, which when he defected from Talon, MAUGA was tasked with tracking him down, which gets us to the short story from the start. And actually, as a quick note, my friend Lawrence did a post about MAUGA and Bab's relationship, which I recommend reading if you want to know more about how these two were written. We see even more of MAUGA in action during his cinematic A Great Day, where he outsmarts Sombra and grabs a no sector relay for Doomfist. Since why should they just be wasting their time getting the blueprint anyway? MAUGA seems content working for Talon, but of course, that could always change. And that was a quick run through of his lore, because I think this set the stage for how his kit works. Now let's get to MAUGA in-game, finally. MAUGA is big, charming and great visually. He's got this big, beautiful black hair with this white streak in it. He's got this great, big, beautiful smile. And since he's wearing no shirt, you can see the amazing tattoo work they got done for him. Which is actually slightly different from what he used to have during the short story. Also, he can do this. Which, like, who doesn't love this? We also see different cybernetics on his body, relating of course to his two hearts and other modifiers. His animations are just really good too, just looking at this energy they put into him. And we can't forget his two massive guns. They got the first letter of the gun's name on the front, aka Gunny and Cha-Cha. Each got their own slightly different design, and something I like on Gunny is this warning label that's on it. But anyway, that's enough looking at this great man. Now let's talk about how he plays. MAUGA is a tank with 500 HP and 150 armor, so he's going to tank with his body a lot. Very similar to a tank like Roadhog. And speaking of Hog, MAUGA does have a very similar size to Roadhog. Even compared to some of the other tanks, he's a real unit. And compared to some of the smaller tanks, he's like 3 times their size. But now, let's get to his kit. Let's start by focusing a big part of MAUGA's kit, his 2 miniguns. First of all, both miniguns got the same base damage, the same fire rate, the same movement speed reduction, the same fall off distance, and both got a slight rev time before you're able to fire them. The fall off starts at 30 meters and ends at 40. Gunny is likely the one you're going to be using the most, because after landing a few shots in a row, they will set the enemies on fire. And something I really enjoy from it is the afterburn, because it lets you get, let's say, some funny kills. But of course, there's another reason to set enemies ablaze, which is where Cha-Cha comes in, who deals crit damage to burning enemies to combo with Gunny. And it works with any other burning effect in Overwatch 2, which just gives some fun extra way to play with your team. I really love this gives markers something extra to think about when fighting enemies at range. And of course, the best part, you can use both at the same time for some double trouble. Which doing this will slow down MAUGA more heavily and increase the spread of the guns by a lot. But man, just sounds of these 2 getting fired at the same time. It's so good. Also, tapping the button will let you rev the guns beforehand without affecting your movement speed, until you of course start fully firing them. To help with taking a position, MAUGA thankfully has a cool mobility tool with Overrun. MAUGA starts to run fast and is put into an unstoppable state. No crowd control can stop him. And he takes 50% less damage, so he can use this to tank some attacks. Running into an enemy will deal 25 damage. Landing the wide AoE of MAUGA's stomp attack will do 45 damage. And knock enemies into the air away from MAUGA. Landing on an enemy counts as a crit and doubles the damage. It will also stun them. And again, just the sound design of this stuff. It's so nice and crunchy. Because of Overrun's unstoppable state, it can sometimes allow you to reposition, basically for free. Because besides for killing you, they can't really stop you. Also, it will always be funny when Anna tries to sleep you, and it just doesn't work, and she dies. All these crits play into MAUGA's passive, Berserker. When MAUGA deals any type of crit damage, he gains overhealth. 50% of the crit damage dealt is converted into overhealth, up to a max of 150 overhealth. This is a great way for MAUGA to stay up, doing the thing he was going to do anyway. He thankfully got another way to deal with taking damage, which is from his cardiac overdrive. It gives MAUGA lifesteal and damage reduction for 5 seconds. It also applies to any teammate within 10 meters of MAUGA. So this is his real tool to stay alive during fights. But you can guess this gives him a problem. This lady. MAUGA has a similar struggle like most of the non-shield tanks, that it only really takes one decent anti-nade to shut everything down. So if you're just seeing that pesky enemy tank having way too much fun, you know what to do. Now, let's get to MAUGA's ultimate, Cage Fight. MAUGA places down a big pillar shield with 1500 HP. With a 4 meter radius that traps and disables movement ability for him and anyone caught inside. But he's not trapped in there without an advantage. MAUGA is given infinite ammo inside his own cage fight, so you're allowed to just let loose and fire away. And only a few things can deal with the cage, which is Orissa's Fortify, Life Weaver's Life Grip, and of course by destroying it with Sombra's EMP. A really fun use I found for Cage Fight is getting enemies stuck within it, then getting my Life Weaver to pull me out so it's only the enemies stuck inside of it, and I can just shoot away as they're just stuck inside the Cage Fight. Of course, I don't have infinite ammo here, but using Cage Fight reloads my guns anyway, so it's fine. Or another good use is to secure the objective, since I just get locked inside and can't touch. And something I just can't help but love with this ult is this music that plays when he uses it.
Sensei Quickiki!
The only way I can really put this is they really popped off with MAUGA's sound design. And with all this, we got the great 2-heart MAUGA of Samoa. He's a hero that's been such a long time coming, but I'm happy to say, at least for me, he's been worth the wait. They did such a great job adapting MAUGA we met in the short story into the game itself. I can't wait to see more great in-game and lore moments with this great man. And with what we've seen and heard about him, I don't think it will be long before he gets to meet the new Overwatch. Soon enough, because we got some loose ends that need to be dealt with.